Jordan.
Barstool Sports on, anyways.
Fuck with that one.
Instagram. Oh, shit.
What? Barstool?
Yeah.
I don't watch
Yeah.
it, really.
There we go.
All right.
What's up, folks?
What's going on?
Hey,
Being informed on Barstool Sports.
Barstool Sports.
I mean, I've had videos said too.
Shout out to Dave for being a stud.
What's up, Dave?
Dave from Barstool.
Dave's not
Dave from
here.
Barstool.
Dave's not here, man.
Dave's not here. Listen, I don't know why.
Mexican Americans take Spanish at night class and get a B.
Old Cheech and Chong.
Anyways,
Good times. Finding Paradise. Finding episode.
finding episode of Paradise 5.
Finding episodes of
If you want to
Paradise.
find this episode,
If you want to find this episode or Paradise,
Yeah.
episode 5, folks. Thanks for joining us.
Episode 5, but really episode like 8.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, we got
You guys kind of do this split.
right. We were
this,
kind of doing like a
thing.
double, like a dual feed thing.
Yeah.
Whatever. We'll see.
It works. It works. Does a
Yeah,
job.
sometimes we get bored and
I gotta
want
change
to
it up.
record it.
Overall, episode 8-ish.
Yeah.
And
We should've looked at
Finding
it.
Paradise 5.
It's Finding Paradise 5, and there's catch ups 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would
And there's
make
like a
eight.
1.5.
There is, but yeah.
Damn, we got a fan.
I listen. Come on.
Anyways,
Not bad. That's actually kind of good.
yeah.
Good work.
Thanks. I mean, have
Indeed
pistachio.
Brewing Pistachio Cream Ale.
shout out.
It's not bad.
Not a sponsor.
Yeah, we're
I
not
still
getting
prefer
paid for
sours,
Yeah.
but this
this. But it would
was-
be cool if you did. Indeed Brewing.
right.
Anyways, here's Dylan.
So Dylan. Yeah.
It's me.
I think we've probably talked about you a little bit.
I have definitely heard some stories that I was involved in, but I was not mentioned in said
Okay.
stories. But I
So
was definitely in those.
I have known Dylan since before he slammed his pee-pee in a toilet lid.
You gotta bring that story up. Come on now.
Wait,
Come on.
when this
It's my
happened.
most embarrassing childhood story, and this dude brings it up first thing. What a snake.
Okay,
We've all done it.
Fill me in like really quick
So
before it gets serious.
while,
here.
while Dylan is grabbing another beer, how old were you? 4, 5, 6?
Early childhood.
Oh, kindergartenish age. And, you know, he was going to the bathroom. He's a big boy. He was doing it himself. He was sitting there, and he's got, like, the lid up and everything. And he's sitting there, and he's kind of like, and the lid fell. Bam!
Oh man.
Well,
Well, at least it was
they're both sours.
Let's try
not
this
balls,
one.
you know.
Unless
Right.
you really want
Just
to.
got-
No, I was just
Just-
gonna drink
yeah.
one.
Okay, I'm gonna match you.
of course, if you're that young, you don't really have to worry about
Yeah.
that, anyways.
But, yeah.
If it makes
So how
you
did that
feel-
go? Like, what was the,
I mean, it was just me taking a piss, and then
He probably has a whole lot to
and
add.
then I put the stool up, right. I don't even remember this story very much, other than the fact that he left out that I literally went to the hospital.
yeah, I like,
So,
no, that's what I'm
like-
saying. I'm
like,
talking, like, what's
yeah.
the aftermath?
Yeah, so I slammed it down. Like, it took me to the hospital because it was like really swollen,
crap.
like really, really swollen. So yeah, it took me in, and I don't even know what they did. I was 5 years old, but they got it fixed up. We're all in good shape, but yeah,
Well,
Dude, that's wild.
yeah, it was.
What a way to come into the world.
so we had.
We're gonna start this one.
I'm gonna need one of these after that.
So speaking of like,
This is how we roll.
yeah, we had some friends of mine growing up. They 2 brothers, and we'd always spend a lot of time at their place. We actually called their mom, like when we showed up. And so I remember one time we were all hanging out downstairs and we were kids, and my older brothers were like holding the one back, like kind of like chicken winging him. And then the other one was just from it, wham, kicked him in the junk.
Oh,
Yeah, that wasn't friendly. You shouldn't do that. And then same type of deal. Like it like swole up and it was bad. Yeah.
Did he puke?
I don't remember if he puked or not, but I remember they're like, don't tell your mom, don't tell your mom. It's like, it looks like a hot dog that was in the microwave too long. You got to tell your mom.
Oh, no.
So Anyway,
You gonna get Tony Moore's all hot and bothered.
I
times
know.
with hot dogs like that. You know?
so episode
Okay.
5. Here we go.
I gotta try this.
Go ahead. We can swap. It's all good.
This is why we record.
Yes.
A lot of times this stuff stays.
Yeah.
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
some of this will be funny.
there's nothing that's getting cut yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways.
So anyway, yeah, I have known Dylan since he was preschoolish.
Yeah, really little.
age. Him and his mother grew up in the congregation. He grew up living with his mother in the congregation that I'm from. And see, when did your dad move to the cities? Probably.
Yeah, I mean, my parents got divorced when I was like 5, so yeah,
So about that
pretty quick.
So, yeah, we've known each other a long time, had a lot of interesting stories together. I think the debate is whether or not like you pulled me out or I pulled you out is kind of the.
How about you helped each other along?
That's true.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
We gave each other helping
Mutually
handies.
beneficial.
everyone thinks it was. I do have to clear this up though, just in case anyone that's still in watches this. Everyone thinks that it was him corrupting me. I just want to put it out there that it was very 50-50, if not more me. So for anyone watching that would care,
Fair enough.
gotta put that out.
That is true.
Because this guy gets a bad rap for that one that he doesn't deserve.
Well, we talked about like the social circles and like the popularity contest of being in the congregations, like when we were upstairs and how you were
Plus
able to.
the politics.
Oh, yeah. You very much got. Like I got the
Oh.
short end of that stick by.
Oh,
mile.
I got the longest end possible of that stick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I got away with a lot more crap.
That's
than
what
I
she said.
should have. Yeah.
Sorry.
Had to.
Had to be said.
So, but yeah, so we've known him a long time, and he's gonna join us now and kind of tell his story, just starting at the beginning and just kind of where his journey from the truth started and
Yeah.
going along, and we'll just kind of see how life has progressed to finding your own little version of paradise now.
So pre-wiener smash.
Well, hey, we should say.
You
I
come
would
into
say
the
real
world.
quick before we get going too much.
Oh,
like,
sorry.
yeah, like we should cut like a couple little announcements thing. We should acknowledge that like it's Pride Month, so happy Pride
Oh,
Month
it's Pride
to
Month,
people.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I can double fist it. Oh wait, I left you out.
Get on over here. And in the background,
I mean,
I'm the director.
yeah,
Pan's watching
the
over
pan
there.
director.
The Pan director.
That didn't sound right.
So yeah, so happy Pride Month and all of that, and thank you for watching.
Yes.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, so it's my turn to
Pre-wiener
talk.
smash.
Yeah,
pre-wiener.
pre-wiener
Let's
smash. I mean, there isn't very many memories pre-wiener smash, so we're gonna go post now.
Okay. Oh, all right. All right.
Yeah. So, all right. So I'm going to talk a little bit, give you my spiel, but I'm going to make these. See, I'm going to make them do something different, and they don't even know about this yet. But I'm going to make them actually ask me questions and interview me instead of me giving a spiel. I'll give you a beginning spiel, but then I want these guys to kind of direct it. And I just put them on them right now, so we'll see how this goes.
I don't know what he's fucking talking about, so we're just gonna do it.
All right.
Roll the punches. It's
Yeah.
all right.
So, yeah, I mean, I grew up pretty much classic witness. My dad was never a witness, but I lived with my mom, so for the most part, yeah, I grew up being a witness. Honestly, though, I do have to admit, and this is a lot different than everybody you've had on, but I really never. I can say that I don't think I ever really believed it, just from the perspective that I never had any guilt. There's a lot of guilt talk on here about everyone, and I respect that, but I just never felt any guilt for anything. So I guess maybe that's just me being a weirdo, but
Or you're a sociopath.
yeah,
One or
exactly.
the
Yeah,
other.
yeah. So
Or
There's
So-
one
He has a
guy
dad
on
that
a
wasn't
train
right.
track over here, and there's 3 over here. Would you kill that guy or the other 3? Right? That's what I'm
How was that said again?
What? I was giving him the sociopath.
yes, he was.
I was only half listening. Sorry.
Never mind.
Anyways,
I was
um,
asking you questions, dude.
You were. You
Yeah.
were.
Ask for it.
You didn't answer.
So okay, where were we at? Barely started. Okay, so yeah, I grew up pretty much regular, Oh, I was just talking about the guilt thing, right? Guilt.
Mhm.
Yeah, never felt a ton of guilt, but at the same time, I would always argue that witnesses were right. So I can't really say that I never believed because obviously I did to some extent, but it was just a little different. I don't know. Anyways, let's see. What do we want?
Well, so why were you with your mom? Why not your dad? Is it just because Minnesota? Were you
my
born in
mom was a
Minnesota?
better parent.
Oh,
basically. So they got divorced, and my mom was definitely the more grown-up individual at the time. And I'll get into some of this later, but that's why it was so hard. Is my mom was an awesome mother, so I got to give her a credit and a shout out on that. She worked a pretty what would be considered low-end job, but still like I never worried about money. I never had any of those issues. I never had any trauma as a kid or anything.
She
So
got you.
Aside from getting your wiener slammed.
well,
She had
yeah.
nothing
Aside
to do
from
with
that,
No,
I did not have any
she-
non-self-inflicted trauma.
No, yeah, I would agree.
So I got to give her a shout out on that. But that's what makes my coming out so hard is that dichotomy between her being a great mom, but still being a witness.
Yeah.
So and that, anyways, but we'll get into that later. So
I can relate to that for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, as I got older, I just honestly a biggest part of it, and I just kind of realized this recently, but a biggest part of a lot of doing witness stuff for me was like the stupid BS like titles and crap you got to do. Like that's the only crap I actually cared about because it made it kind of fun.
Oh, like running mic.
Yeah,
Doing
like
soundboard.
yeah, like
Yeah.
that's just what I live
Watch me
for. 'cause
I
it was
couldn't do
fun.
that because I was a girl.
Yeah, which is BS.
I got to answer.
Yeah.
I got to give parts
You got to put
with
a hat on
another
the gray.
person because you couldn't even do it by yourself.
Yeah, which to
Yeah, that's
Like-
right. Jesus.
if I had been a girl in the sexist scheme of the witnesses, I would never have stayed in because I would literally have
It's
not
just so-
cared ever.
So fucked up.
Oh yeah, it's so sexist, it's unreal. It's ridiculous. But okay, anyways, so that was a lot of it like during that time, was just doing crap like that and just kind of not paying attention. Plus, I mean, because I couldn't hang out with anybody else, all my friends were witnesses. So that was a lot of obviously the fun and it. And then as I grew up, I guess we can talk about baptism now. We're basically at that point.
I have a question.
Yes, ask away.
Was your mother the first witness in your family? How did that like all?
Oh, okay, we can.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I.
that's
Okay,
true.
so
Where's the foundation?
So this is a really weird and funny story, actually. So my mom studied, right, when I was very little. And then she got her sister, who would be my aunt, to come.
I'm gonna stabilize that because that thing's like.
Okay, you're
Sorry.
noticing that too?
Oh yeah, no, it's fucking. It's like it's all over the
I can
place.
get
Shove a
my
couple of
hand
these
off the
over
table,
in there.
too.
Well, I think honestly, if we just get that, like it'll hold.
Oh, okay.
It was just kind of like sitting down.
That's better.
Sorry, I speak with my hands
No,
a
it was
lot.
like, it was like right in the
It
middle.
was
Yeah.
literally teetering on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You should learn sign language. You should learn ASL then.
I could probably do it, yeah.
Yeah, if you were-
I literally do this the entire
I
time I'm
can't do
talking.
that.
Okay,
Sorry,
so
anyway, go
parent
ahead.
story, yeah. My mom was studying and then got my aunt to study. And then my mom quit studying. My aunt came in, got baptized. And then she ended up getting my mom to come back in when I was like 10-ish, 8 to 10. Because there was a period between like 5 and 10 where we would go to meetings-ish, but we weren't really like,
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of like this weird, my mom was struggling with her own issues and stuff like that in that period. But then she got pregnant with my sister, and then that kind of just changed the whole thing for her. She came back in. My aunt was a pioneer at that point, so she like brought her blah blah blah, and then yeah, that all happened when I was around 10, basically.
Okay.
So that's kind of the story. But yes, so those two were the first witnesses in
Did
my
it
whole
extend
family.
farther out, or is it just your aunt and your mom?
Kind of, but not like my grandma came to meetings my entire life, but never got baptized and never
So
went
they
in
were
service.
around it or
Yeah,
something?
like I don't know. You can. It's weird. It's really weird.
She's not a publisher, I don't think.
She doesn't go on service.
So was your grandma coming to meetings before your mom? Was
No,
studying
my
with?
mom and aunt were the original.
So they kind of
yeah,
brought your grandma along.
yeah,
Okay.
kinda. And then my grandpa too came to meetings for a while.
Yep.
But he's got a bunch of health issues and basically is in a nursing home, so he kind of just cut it because of that. But
So you were hardly even second generation. pretty much.
I was second generation
Right.
would be it for sure. Yeah.
Good.
I mean, my mom and aunt are hardcore in for sure. But
Good.
yeah.
We'll see what happens with your sister.
Yeah, I mean, I have
Hopefully.
hopes. We're crossing our fingers on that
Well,
one.
and
but
How
that's
old
kind
is
of
your
a-
sister?
she's 9.5 years younger than me,
She's
so
14.
14. Yeah,
Okay.
So that's the other
She's
thing.
young,
Like
yeah,
we've talked
yeah.
about
She'll
my
figure it
kids a
out.
fair amount.
yeah,
And so,
that's
like,
funny. Yeah,
My youngest daughter and his sister are best friends.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
they
that's right.
from birth,
Oh,
like
okay.
they've been best
I forgot
friends.
about that.
they're like 6
Always.
months apart from each other.
Yeah. So
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But
hopefully they can like corrupt each
yeah,
other out
I
of
would
this.
love.
Yeah,
Like,
you know,
like,
kind of like a
can we have a?
similar
Can we?
situation.
I don't. I'm gonna say this guy's name. Can we have a me and situation with those two? I would absolutely love that.
Mhm.
I would love that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Who studied with you? Your mother or somebody else?
I had studied with 3 different people actually before
All
I got
elders?
baptized. No, not all elders. The first person I studied with was a guy who's still one of my best friends now, and Tyler has talked about this person before, but yeah, we're gonna not whatever. He's still in, so I'm not gonna like out him, but
Hey, you can say the name and
Yeah,
we
we
can
can
cut.
believe.
oh, okay, so was the first one that I studied with. And I went through the whole Bible teach book with him, and that was the best. Like, he didn't like, if you know the guy, he's just like awesome and super chill. Like,
Yeah, he's
Like-
cool. I met him one time.
Yeah.
Like, dude, this guy's awesome.
Like
Which-
for like
Why doesn't he come over more? Honestly, yeah.
like the later studies I had with other people, I had to actually like prepare and
Oh.
freaking like really like they were gonna ask me random questions that weren't even in what we were talking about. Like, I could count on the like read the paragraph, ask the question. So
Right.
like as long as I was listening when we were reading the paragraph, it was Gucci. And then I studied with a guy who was the worst human I think I've ever met in my life. On top, up
Yeah, you
there
don't even
for
have to
sure.
say who. I'm like,
Yeah. This guy was. I mean, the only person I can literally compare him to is Jabba the Hutt. Literally, he and I'm
visually.
not visually. This dude is about.
Oh, is that
This-
Okay, yeah.
This dude's literally like 400 pounds, at least 400 pounds.
This big dude.
And he's just like puppet master guy.
Mhm.
Like I could tell you stories and stories and stories of corruption and like basically how he said he owned this like online sales business, right? So he said the Hall's lawnmower didn't work anymore, sold them a new lawnmower from his business, and then took the old Hall's lawnmower and sold it at his business.
What the hell?
And coincidentally, I know the story with the ones that he got. He picked up that set for $75 and sold it to the congregation for $425.
Yeah. So yeah,
Jesus.
this guy's
So
Scumbag.
And I'm gonna tell a personal story too with this one because I don't even care. This dude deserves to get ripped to pieces.
Yeah, no kid.
But he borrowed, so he's to start this business, right? He borrowed $5,000 from my mother, who is, like I've told the story, super awesome, but also super nice. Like a little on the gullible side of nice, a little bit. But she gave him a loan for $5,000 as like an investment in this business, and he never paid her back.
Jesus.
And to this day, never paid her back.
And he was
And he was the coordinator the whole time. Literally. So yeah. So this guy
ran his own graphics printing business.
Yep.
And for the longest time, he would print before they started coming from the branch, you were supposed to print your own signs for the witnessing cards.
Yep.
So he would print those and sell them to the congregation.
This is how long
At a
I've been out.
premium.
I thought you were gonna say he would print the scriptures, the yearly scripture.
He did.
He did
did
those.
those.
Same thing and
He
sold
also
them.
did that.
Sold them to the hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were
No
barely
way.
starting cart witnessing when we were leaving.
Yeah,
Like, it was
yeah,
like
it was
a brand
very
new- They're still trying to like, figure
Really
out how
weird.
to do that, like
Yeah,
how they're gonna have the carts and the dimensions.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't very
sold
organized. Yeah.
the yearly scripture. It's like 20 word letters. Like what the hell?
20 letters graphic printed that cost him probably
And like
nothing.
he did
Yeah.
those like 18 by 24 like signs for the like on like foam board, whatever, for the witnessing cards. And the one invoice that I saw to the congregation was $175 for one.
for a piece of poster board.
I literally,
Printed on poster
when
board.
I saw that, I grabbed my phone because I had the files. Like I actually put the files together. Like
He literally just printed them.
I pulled them
Did.
up and like I showed this other brother in the another elder in our hall who was not a fan of his. I was like, right here, I can order it and I can have it here by Friday for $24. And he's like, you're kidding me. I'm like, no. And he's like, oh. So anyway, yeah, other people also saw the corruption, and
this
that's
dude-
part of why he is no longer an elder.
Yes, yeah. It's part of why he's no
And he
longer
left,
an elder.
right?
How he left
He's
the
in
state.
Arizona. Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, it's because the third guy that studied with me, who I still respect, but is just a hardcore witness, so you just got to give him what it is,
Yep.
was the guy who basically put together an entire folder of this idiot, everything he'd done bad, and just roasted him and got him removed, and then he bailed and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, because he was just like, this dude's corrupt as heck. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, we got to figure this out. So I got to give him credit for that. But
Right.
and he's the third guy that I studied with. Yeah, and that was that. I do have another story that I forgot about baptism, right? So I'm like, I don't really want to do this. Like, I'm kind of like, I don't know. Like, how am I supposed to dedicate the rest of my life to something when
How
I'm
old are you?
14?
Okay.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
going to ask
14.
you, how old are you?
I was 15 when I got baptized.
Hey.
So I was 14 at the time that this conversation happened, and he's like, well, you're going to get your permit pretty soon, right? You'll be able to drive a car. He's like, wow, if you're able to drive a car and have that responsibility, you can commit your life to Jehovah. Come on. I'm like, what's the difference? And I just am like, wait a minute. What's the difference between driving a car and literally committing the rest of my life to something?
Yeah. Right.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
That was literally one of the governing body videos like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
Like
really?
It
literally,
was.
like
It
that
was
Tony
after
Morris.
that,
Oh,
and I was
it? Yeah.
said this from like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And this was and that I watched that and I was like, no way did he say this in a video.
Yeah.
Like what? Can
Tony
you
Morris
think about
literally
this?
he was
Yeah,
talking
Tony
about
Morris
like
literally said it.
talking about how like
I do-
your sons are going to be 24 and he's not a ministerial servant yet. What's wrong with him? And he's like, and if you got kids coming up, well, if they can't get baptized, why should they get a license? Like he said this from
Literally.
Wasn't this like a long time?
this was several years ago.
This was a few years ago, yeah, but
Was this like during like some special talk
Mhm.
thing?
Yeah.
It was
at
during,
the
like, the
hall?
It might have been during that.
I
I
don't.
ranch
feel like
visit.
this is like
That was
That's
the
ringing
yoga
a-
pants.
That was
situation
yoga
that you're
pants.
thinking of.
Oh,
maybe.
yoga pants?
no. I was around the whole like tight
Tight
pants.
Yeah.
Feel like men wearing
Yeah.
the really tight suits.
And they
Oh, yeah.
kept saying also one thing
Spanx.
they kept saying Spanx.
Yeah,
No
he
one
kept
wears
calling them
Spanx in public. Like no one just wears Spanx in
Well, some
public.
people might.
No,
But I
like
do remember something about like
my
like
pants backing me up on this one right here. No one wears Spanx in public.
I like-
Yeah.
about like how sisters, like women were supposed to be I can't remember this one now. It's like just like a little bit of like a ding in my head about this, about if women that or sisters that are considering marrying someone, what they should be looking for. And if they're not even a ministerial servant.
He's
if he's
24
like,
and he's not a ministerial
yeah,
servant.
like what are you doing with
yeah.
him? Kind of thing, like
Mm-hmm.
I
shape
do,
up.
yeah.
It was the same talk, and then
Okay.
he said something.
So then
about,
this was like several years because I was in then. I remember that. I'm pretty sure. Unless I saw a clip.
it floated around the internet a lot,
Yeah.
and it would have been around. Yeah,
But wasn't it was
shortly-
like the special talk, like you came in special for like almost like a special like mini circuit assembly kind of thing, like at your Kingdom Hall?
Yeah, special talk, yeah.
Yeah.
it
Because
was
it was around the
some
time I was
broadcast.
leaving that I think.
Or
I
it wasn't
remember
like,
this.
was it like a special talk, or was it when they started doing those things where you like put the big screen?
Yeah,
up,
it was one of
you
those.
see the governing.
So I'm saying it
body,
might have been like that one of the
yeah.
branch visits.
Yeah,
that they did.
like a virtual like
'Cause those were weird. I
Branch
think
visit.
I was already out when they started doing those, and they're like, "Come to this meeting. It's a
Those
special
were
meeting."
it was probably within the last couple
They
years
started
before
those
I left.
2013 because
Yeah.
the first one was
Okay.
when they released the new Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then they
Okay.
did those for like 2 years before they went in like full video mode with the JW
Right.
broadcasting stuff like a year and a half later.
Okay, sorry.
Okay,
No,
back
where,
on track.
where are we at again?
Yeah, it
We're
was one of
really
those
good
talks.
at that.
No, that's just fun though. The tangents are fun. That's the whole point. Like that's
It's conversation.
Yeah,
Just kind of,
exactly.
no,
All right, so we were at
Baptism.
baptism.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
so
then if you could have a permit to drive a car, you can get baptized.
yes, so super pressure to get baptized. Also, I was a 15, 16-year-old kid. I liked girls. So if you wanted any girl to
Gross.
actually talk to you, you had to be baptized, right? Otherwise, it's like, ew, you know?
You
So
start
it's
to be
like-
the kid that's not baptized.
Yeah, you're
and
supposed to be the weird kid that's not baptized, right?
You're-
So
and then your playing field wants nothing to do with you.
yes,
pretty much.
exactly, literally.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, those honestly, as much as I hate to say it, those were literally the two biggest influences. Was like all
Well-
the pressure, and then girls. Like what?
Yeah,
Like,
I
that's
guess
why
I
I
never
got
thought about
baptized.
that, but yeah,
Like
because you either have to get baptized or not, and then your family pressures you, and you don't have no girls or
literally, those are the two things were
I
family
didn't even think
pressure and
about
girls
that,
at
but-
that point. I mean,
No
I can't-
kidding.
I can't blame myself too much. I'm a 15-year-old boy. Like,
Right.
come on. Like, my hormones were not in the right.
Well, mine wasn't like girls driven yet at that point, but it was I don't want to be the kid not getting baptized. That's why I did it.
Yeah.
Because they would consider, like, if you were not baptized by like 18, they started shunning you anyway.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, well, you
basically.
should know better, and you should
Yeah.
have made the decision by now.
Like, you could go to meetings and people would talk to you, but you couldn't like hang
That's
out with
about it.
people past
Mhm.
meetings, basically.
Han has a question.
Do you think boys are more pressured to get baptized more than girls, or do you think it's like an equal pressuring from the
I don't
family?
think it's more pressured,
That's a good question.
to be honest,
'Cause-
either way. But I think boys kind of have the whole like serving
Mhm.
situation. So
Because you can
like,
start like
Yeah.
doing more.
yeah, and you want to like you said, right? All it goes back to marriage and sex and girls again. Whereas a lot of guys like you get the thing, if you're not a servant, if you're not giving talks, if you're not doing all this stupid crap, then no girl's gonna want to be with you anyway.
right.
So you kind of have more of the pressure to like advance and get baptized, maybe to do that. But I still don't know
Well,
if it's more pressure
it's
from like
kind of
family
just-
pressure or anything.
I
It's
think-
obviously not.
I think
It's
the
kinda
guys are more groomed into service, and
Yeah.
the girls are more groomed into
Get married.
supporting roles.
It's
Yeah,
J-Dub
get married
Supporting
and-
service.
It's
Yeah.
J-Dub peacocking.
Literally.
It's what it is.
Yeah.
You get to flex your achievements.
Yes,
you know,
literally.
And the girls are
drawn
supposed to
it.
find the most spiritual thing you
Flex your
can.
plumage.
And that's one of the whole reasons I ended up marrying. This is one of the biggest reasons I ended up marrying who I did, because he was considered one of the most spiritual.
Yeah, perfect example.
Mhm.
Yep.
I remember when we were first dating, and well, no, it was when
Not
we were
me.
not
Yeah,
not her and I, my ex-wife.
Let's clarify.
Because
a
we
little
were
bit.
talking about like getting married. So yes, so my ex-wife,
Sorry.
yeah, she's like, I knew we were meant to be together because I could see us studying our watchtower, and the fuck you would say that. No,
Maybe
that
I
was-
would have been. I don't know.
right, no. But yeah, so that was one of her
Not
things. She was
now.
like, I knew that we would be a good fit because I could always envision us studying our watchtowers together. And I'm like, yeah.
That's the reason.
Yep.
That's tough. Woo.
So yeah, they're definitely after spirit, and it's encouraged to find a spiritual mate. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you get baptized because you want girls,
Yep.
and to not get shunned.
Yes, those two things. Yep. So I just thought of this, and I got to tell this story before I forget. It's really actually funny, and it's a little lead in later. But so I got baptized, right? I started, doing the classic mic running and all that stupid crap and whatever. And the next thing I get is I get a convention part, right? So that's pretty cool. I'm like all pumped about this.
Was it like an interview part?
No, it was like a demo.
demo
I'm
drums.
I'm glad
Yeah.
you were pumped. I was terrified.
Oh, I was
I'd be like, kind of
pumped.
stuff. Oh
That's
my
the stuff I
God.
love, though. I love that
Yeah.
type of crap at that point. Super egomaniac when I'm 16 years old. Like he said, straight peacock. Like I get to walk around all day and have a bunch of witness girls come up to me and be
They're
like,
like, I
nice
think I'm gonna
meeting
die
you,
going
Joey."
on stage.
Like, come on. Like,
Oh,
I just
okay.
ate that crap up at that point.
Yep.
But the funny part is my part was I'm a witness kid, and then this other girl is a girl in my physics class trying to go on a date with me, basically, and get me to whatever. And it went well, and it was awesome. And I had a lot of fun doing it. But the funny part is that's how I left. Basically, it was dating somebody that I met that wasn't a witness.
Right.
So I just kind of had that like little foreshadowing that was pretty funny. But
Right. No, I mean, that's kind of because when Pan and I started dating, I was still trying to get back in. That's why I didn't want to start dating her, because I had all this shit going on, you know? So then I started dating her, and I took her to a meeting or two, and I was like, this is fucked. Because I could see it in her eyes. Like, she's just like, what is this? Like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I,
Like,
obviously, I
Zone?
don't care about any of this.
Like,
No,
oh,
I mean,
what the fuck?
go worldly girls. Thank you.
also,
We
can
owe you a
we,
lot.
can we talk
Yeah.
about how? And you talked about this before.
Uh.
Because Mariah, my girlfriend's name is Mariah. She always brought this up from day one. And you talked about it on one of the podcasts how derogatory the term worldly is,
Oh yeah,
how
dude.
ridiculously offensive it
It's
is to
messed
people.
up.
She first time I took her, she comes to, she's like, "You call people that aren't witnesses worldly? Like, do you understand how like douchey that sounds?" And I was like, "Whoa,
No,
yeah,
I didn't.
no, I
Never.
didn't
No.
until now."
Never hit me.
Yeah.
And obviously, I still say it. I catch myself saying it.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, we know now. But
yeah,
It like I was working with some dude, Jeremiah was his name, and I was like, yeah, well, technically you're worldly. He's like, do you really realize like that? Don't call me that. That's just mean. Like, why would you call? I'm just a person. Oh yeah, you're right. You are right.
It's definitely a dick move.
And then I
Yeah.
brought it to my parents, and they just looked at me like deer in that. Like, what? What are you talking about? Like,
No, they're worldly people.
yeah. They just couldn't get it.
All right, so post baptism,
Baptism,
right? But then I start getting to the age where I'm in high school, and I wouldn't do homeschooling, so I'm in public school. And then you start getting the age where you start doing crap and having like doing fun stuff. Like, you know, me and my best friend kind of got in like the going to parties with like we'd this is pretty funny.
Camping.
Yeah,
I knew this is where this was going.
camping. So when we were 14, 15, we would actually winter camp a lot. Got
Cool.
super into it.
Hell yeah.
This was so like he has super nice like they're called zombie sleeping bags. You get super like we were sleeping out when it's -20 outside. It was dope.
Sweet.
So we do this for a couple of years, but then we're getting 16 years old and people are asking us to come to parties. So we're like, oh, perfect. We'll just go winter camping. And we went winter camping, and then we would sneak out to this kid had like a bunch of big farm and a bunch of like woods and stuff. So then we'd sneak back to buy his house, get his car, or we'd have kids from school pick us up and we'd just go to parties and then come back, go to sleep. Parents would never know. So then we started getting into that, you know, going to service and meetings hungover all the time and that type of crap. And just having fun and doing stuff. And that's a lot of what got out though, is I always did have a bunch of worldly friends. I had a bunch of friends that weren't witnesses, ton. And so that's a lot of what started getting me like, it's what made waking up better for me.
Yeah,
Is
you
I
had a
had a
nice social
huge
group.
social structure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Losing the people that clearly didn't really give a fuck about you. It's
Exactly.
not that bad.
But that's also why I knew I couldn't be a witness. So I came to that conclusion, right? Like, okay, so I'm expected to like, because I'm not gonna be a witness, I'm gonna get married, and like I'm not gonna be that weird single dude my whole life. So like, okay, so I have to marry a witness girl and tell her all this stuff that I've done, and like all these friends that I have, and like I don't want to give that up.
Right.
So it's like, how is that gonna be possible? So that kind of hit me at first too. And then at a party, I met this girl who is now my girlfriend of 4.5 years, who, yeah, we kind of hit it off. And I tried like so hard to not like, I was a jerk to her at the beginning because I was like, okay, she's going to leave and then I don't have to deal with this. And so she put up with my stupid crap. Thank you. I don't know how you did, but, she's a saint. Mariah's a saint. True. But Yeah, and
She
so
makes damn good cookies.
she makes damn good everything.
Where are these cookies?
I don't know, but I mean, I remember having cookies back in the day when she brought like fresh baked cookies. Yeah.
This girl cooks for me and my friends all the time, like literally like full meals, and just gives them to me to bring to people. And I'm just like, who is this for? What? Like what?
Dude, that's one of the first times I knew I liked Pan was because she showed up randomly to our apartment and said, "Hey, I brought you French fries." I was like, "What?
I was like, what?
Wait, French fries?"
Nice.
Starts
think I would
cooking
love-
back.
That's how you know it's real love.
Oh,
You get French
this
fries.
is great. Anyways,
Yeah, so I started, hanging out with her, and finally it just got to the point where people found out about it, and then I'm kind of, I did always, I will admit, I lied so much. Oh my goodness, I lied a lot. I lied all the time. Like,
yeah.
like you talked about how you were pretty open with stuff actually for a
Yeah.
witness. Like you were just like, this is what it is.
Yeah.
I was not. I was the opposite. I was hiding and lying and like even when I'd get caught, I'd just deny it. I'd literally just
don't
be
have
like,
physical
I have
proof.
no idea what that is. I
Your
don't
mom
know.
found like 8 roaches in that,
Yeah.
like 8 roaches in like a little tub in the garage.
And I said, I don't know what those are.
Yeah, what am I looking at?
Yeah. My mom found a 175 of Jack Daniels in my car in high school. And I was like, I don't know. Someone must have left that in my car. I don't know whose that is. And she had no physical proof. So that was it. That was just literally the end of it. But so I did that type of stuff a lot.
Well, okay, I did do that one time. One time I was partying up in the cities and we decided to go do a gravity bong in my Impala.
Yeah.
Dude, we cleared the thing multiple times. It was like a Cypress Hill concert, right? So then the next day I drove home and I had to pick up my sister. I pick up and like she's like, "It smells like weed in here." And first of all, how'd she know what weed smells like?
Yeah.
Second of all, I just said, "Oh yeah, I don't know. I got this new air freshener." She
It smells
bought
like
it.
skunk.
I
That's what I
don't
think
know.
it smells
Well, I
like.
didn't know what it smelled like. As far as
Yeah,
I don't know what you're
It
talking
It
about.
smells like
But
marijuana,
I'm
you
sure
say?
it's
Yeah.
fucking weed. So okay, I did lie sometimes.
Yes.
But when it came to like elders and stuff like
Yeah, but you were more. I lie to the elders all the
Sure.
time. I
I
had
can
no
do it.
shame at that. Like literally.
that.
But that's been one of my biggest issues with coming out, right? Is now I'll catch myself like, especially in the beginning of our relationship, lying to Mariah about crap that didn't matter. And like literally like,
Oh, 'cause
what
you
do you
got
have for
habit.
lunch type stuff? Like not that bad, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
You just got in the habit of hiding.
yeah, I just got a habit of hiding shit. And it's just like, that is one thing that she has helped me out with a lot. And I've grown a lot with it in coming out. And I just know I'm a better person. Talk about the finding paradise thing. That's one thing for me. I knew right away. I don't lie anymore. I literally just don't because like there's no reason to anymore.
No.
And everyone that I'm close with knows who I am. So it's like there's none of that going on. But yeah.
See, I
so
even thought a
that's-
similar thought like the other day. Like we're sitting around at your place, and not that, I don't know where the hell my phone is. It's over there, but it doesn't matter. So like, I went to go downstairs to do something, and left my phone sitting there by the bedside. But even before, like, I would have never just left my phone laying around somewhere. Even if I wasn't hiding anything, I still would have been like, nope, let me put that in my pocket while I go pee.
Because you don't trust them.
Yeah, it's like so. But like yesterday or the day before, we were at your place, and I literally I went to the bathroom and then I went downstairs for something, and I was like, "Oh, it's upstairs." And whereas normally I'd have been like, "Oh, run upstairs, grab my phone real quick," but
And I'm the same way now. I have had that same similar experience. Like when I was with my mom or with witnesses, my phone was never not on my person.
Mhm.
And now it's like, yeah, I'll do whatever. I'm like, yeah, Mariah, where's my phone? I haven't seen this thing in like 3 hours.
Yeah,
And it's
I've
like,
been looking
oh,
through it. I was looking
yeah.
something up on Google.
It's like cool. Like it's never like,
What's Asian
she's like, I'm
passport?
scrolling through your porn history.
but yeah. So it's not. It's
Mom,
not
if you were in a German Scheiße video,
but I see that as myself growing, I guess. So that's something that since I've come out has definitely been.
I think that's something you hear pretty often is like people will just knowingly have become better people.
Yeah.
Like because like you said, you don't have to try anymore. You don't have to try anything. You can literally just do whatever the fuck you want. And the people that are attracted to that are gonna stick around. It's cool.
It's super cool,
It's just
isn't
a
it?
huge weight lifted off your
And
shoulders.
it's
a
not
burden.
It's not
a burden
friendship.
you can throw on something. We can throw that burden on. I don't know. You throw it
Jehovah.
on
Yeah,
something.
throw it
yeah.
That just gave me memories because the
Sure.
amount of times they said that saying
Oof.
over our lives makes me want to throw up.
Anytime somebody would do some
Throw it on
stupid shit,
Jehovah. Like,
just wait for Jehovah. He'll take it.
Throw your burdens
cool.
on Jehovah.
Mhm.
But yeah, so yeah, I started getting into that. I guess, yeah. I mean, since I've come out, I guess I've done a lot. I got a bachelor's degree. That was pretty cool. I'm in my master's program right now. I kind of
For
history.
cool.
Yeah. So I kind of want to be a teacher, like a professor would be ultimate goal. For
When did
me.
World War II happen? Oh, doesn't know.
1492.
Yes. Oh man. But yeah, it's been fun. I don't know. I've just lived life,
So did you ever get turned off by like the extracurricular speeches, talks, that anti-college talks? Or did that not really ever?
Yeah. I was still in and I just said I don't care and I'm going to college.
Oh.
So I went to a tech school first and got a 2-year degree from South Central. But then I went back to MSU when I was still in to be a teacher and just said, I don't care. I'm doing whatever I want.
Yeah.
And that's, again, go back to me getting the long end of the stick on everything. Nobody cared. I still ran mics. I still read. I still, gave talks on the ministry school or whatever it's called. And I was in college.
Crazy.
And literally nobody cared.
No one said anything to you.
No one said anything.
It's kind of that way
nuts.
for my ex-husband though too.
Really?
Like even though they'd have talks about it and like watchtower studies, I know he always left feeling really guilty because it was kind of like they were picking on him and one other sister. I remember that they come from a different country and we're here for college at MSU. And I mean, but he got to give parts and stuff, and I think he was a servant when he came here. But in other countries, like where he was from, you couldn't get any job really at all if you didn't go to like a 4-year college. So it's a little more accepted, but it's still the same publications.
Huh.
And you'd still have that same guilt trip to like the watchtowers.
Yeah.
I remember like every time that would happen, he would leave just like distressed
so they didn't
and feeling
actually,
really
like,
bad.
talk to him, but they talked about him.
Yeah,
on
like they,
stage?
yeah. Well, I mean, through like watchtowers and stuff. I remember there were different.
He would just pay attention.
He would
to what
internalize
makes-
it way
Yeah.
more.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
Well, he would just care. I guess I just didn't care.
Yeah.
Like you can tell me
Yeah.
to not go to college all you want. I'm gonna go to college.
Yeah, right.
That was one thing for me that literally from when I was young, I was like, I don't care about this. I'm literally doing this.
Yeah.
I'm not like my mom worked too hard for me to work a dead end job my entire life. Like I'm just not. And not that I'm also not saying that you have to go to college to be successful and not work a dead end job. You don't. There's plumbers and electricians and those trades jobs that make 5 times more than I ever will. And if you can do that, mad respect to you. And that's what you should do because you can make bank. I'm not the type of person,
And
but
in
I
the
have
end, honestly,
no
those are
respect.
people keeping the world running.
Yes,
so, I get it.
exactly. Those are vital to the world keeping moving jobs. So I'm not in any way disrespecting that at all.
Frankly,
I
I wish
wish I
so I
would-
could sit on my ass.
Yes.
Like,
I
I'm
went
not
to
gonna
school
lie.
because I don't want to work a physical job my
I don't
whole
want to
life.
sit on my ass
Yeah.
all day.
So-
and you should have the opportunity
the
to
job
go to
I got.
school.
Yeah.
You should have the choice to go to school if you want to go to
Yeah.
college. Like that shouldn't even be a thing.
I
It's
think
like
my
my brother
ex-husband
said.
got a little bit of a pass with some of that because he was from a different country, and people just thought even like he was just cool because he was from a different country
Yeah.
and hanging out with it.
Oh,
Everyone
yeah,
kind of wanted to
yeah,
buddy up
for
to
sure.
him. I wouldn't be surprised that was kind of like part of the dynamic. I don't know for sure. But,
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead. Your brother. I know you said something about your brother.
Oh no! So my brother said a very similar thing. I was talking to him about a year and a half ago, and he said, "I don't know that I ever would have gone to college, but I would have liked to, for it to be an option,
Yeah.
like not just understood that you're not going to college.
Yeah.
He's like, maybe I would have, maybe I wouldn't, but
But I feel like maybe I was wrong, but I felt like in Blue Earth, going to college was a little more not as hated on because
I'd say that's true.
like even other kids in my congregation went to like 2-year colleges, and not that that's hated on at all, because that's almost encouraged because it can be stuff you can do in the paradise.
Mhm.
But
Washing windows and
yeah, like being,
well, that
you
was
know,
going to community college. Or technical college.
oh,
To wash
Yeah,
windows.
yeah, well, like construction type jobs, you know.
yeah.
I thought it was,
But,
I thought it was a s'more
Well,
for a second.
wait, like so it was actually sold as like, yeah, you should do these because you could do that in the paradise.
Kind of.
Yeah,
it
that's
was
kind
kind
of
of yeah.
that's kind of their angle, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
kind of like you can go to a 2-year tech school because you're getting a like hard working job that you could do even in
Because you're not going to be
paradise.
perfect and know how to do everything.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
you
that's
are
what
going
you're
to
but
supposed
you
to have
are.
the lens of that if you're gonna go to school, if you really want to do that. Because before it was like nothing. Then they started
Yeah.
changing it to a bit like, well, you know, like a trade school or something like that.
It's
because
only
something
2
you can, something you
years,
can,
there's
it's something, and it's
no-
something you could use in the paradise and support pioneering.
And RBC, you
And
can use it for the
Oh,
RBC, and that type of
International
crap.
construction
Yeah,
and-
yeah,
Yeah.
Bethel service.
yeah.
Yeah, it's-
I see.
So that was played up a lot. But I also felt like the congregation I was in had a little more leaning towards that not mattering. Whereas, like, my biggest issue when, like, charged when I was a kid was sports. I want to play sports my whole life. I'm like, anyone that knows me knows that, like, that's probably the number one thing that I love and enjoy.
Which
is
one? Just
sports.
all of them, or like?
Oh, just overall, like, pro sports, knowing it, being a freaking fact-booked guy.
So I was telling her earlier, I'm like, if you asked Dylan who did the Vikings pick in the 7th round of the 2005 draft?
Yeah, like I don't know that specific
All right,
answer,
well.
but I know who they took in the first round of that draft.
So there you
You know.
go.
Really?
Yeah,
Who?
Michael Bennett, running back.
Google it. Google it.
Do you know?
I can Google it.
No,
I
I
just
can't.
want to make sure.
I believe you. You're like that.
I could actually be wrong. That could be 2004.
Vikings 2005.
That
Look
could
what I
that
did.
could have been Kevin Williams actually.
Troy Williamson.
Oh,
Oh.
yep.
Okay, I don't want
Tested and
I don't
proven.
want you on my trivia team anymore.
Get the fuck out.
Boo.
You're done.
Who won the Stanley Cup in 1979?
That's hockey. That
Oh.
doesn't count.
What?
Football.
Oh,
I lied.
oh,
I lied.
You're gonna make those.
Football or
I'm
basketball
mad.
question.
Oh, okay. I got you.
But anyways, but I'm also
How many people did Wilt Chamberlain bang?
that is a question I don't know if anybody knows the answer
That's
to because
true.
it's really high.
Yeah. They claim over 10,000.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Hope he wrapped it.
No. In
Like-
the 60s and 70s.
Like the top like people that on that list are like Magic and Wilt are both in the last like recent time of sex partners.
I bet they didn't bang more than Lemmy Kilmister.
Lemmy? Lemmy is
Oh.
God.
Lemmy is God, dude.
Oh boy.
Sorry.
Little motorhead there.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, bad at
Somehow we got to
transitions.
Motorhead.
That's all right.
Well, you're
It's all
talking
good.
about. Anyways.
Yep. Where were we? Oh, sports. So I'm also super competitive, like ridiculously competitive about everything. I'll make anything a competition. Like that's just who I am. And so both of those things combined made me want to play high school sports more than anything on the planet, right? And all the kids that I'm like friends with at high school are playing sports, and like I'm like, why the heck can't I do this?
Right.
And so that was a lot of in high school stuff was fighting with the elders about this makes no sense. Like I'm not hanging out with them. Why can't I go to the practice, play the sport, go to the games and come home? They're like, well, you could get lured. I was like, you can personally, and I can have an elder personally come pick me up from every practice and game if you want. Like, or my mom or whoever. I don't care. I don't care about anything after it. I just want to play.
Right.
No. And I knew kids in the cities that were playing sports, and it wasn't a big deal. They were doing all the same, like, everything except being a ministerial servant, and they were playing sports.
Yeah.
So it's like, what? This makes no freaking sense
Right.
at all. So that was some of like, yeah, that was the only real big one in high school. Honestly, was just
Well, and to see the
that.
contradiction too between the King
Yeah.
of Hearts, isn't that kind of like cause a disturbance?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
So here I can't.
Yeah.
But there they can.
But
so this
literally
is
in the Twin Cities, 2 hours away, it's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, it's locational.
Well, and we couldn't do sports in high school, but I was in mock trial clear through high school. And we
I
went
did.
to practice 2 hours every day after school. We went to competitions. We went to state for the weekend. It was as extra. We practiced in a church for 2 hours every day after school.
I could
What?
do those. I
Yeah.
could do those like school related. Like I did like math competition and like leap, like other like extenuating like
Math masters. And
yeah,
stuff
crap
that.
like that. That was fine, but
Oh,
sports
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
fine. It's like, well, what's the difference? I'm still hanging out with
Because
kids the
sports
same
is
amount
gonna
of
get
time.
your pussy.
I guess.
Math ain't.
Yeah, that's a fair
I know,
point.
it was like stable,
Yeah.
and it's just not.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
I don't know
it's
what
like
happened.
that was a huge hypocrisy I saw and never was given an answer for. It's like the beard thing. It's just like hypocrisy and no answer ever given.
Right.
What? Like I'm just supposed to accept this and just deal with it?
Yep.
I don't know.
The beard thing.
Yeah.
Especially when literally the only verse in the Bible about beards is "Don't shave."
I
Yeah.
thought of another one the other day. We couldn't have long hair, but Samson was praised for his long hair, and God gave him power through his long hair.
Because they'd say it's what is the business attire. That's what
Yeah.
the reasoning, because we
Why
want to look
is that?
business like and be respected.
We don't.
So we needed to look very whatever business like what's the word I'm looking for? Like
Business professional.
yeah, whatever the trends are in that, like whatever acceptable in the business world is what would be acceptable to us.
which is
right.
crap.
Which
now
I
because-
would always say,
Yeah.
well, you know who else requires that? At the time they did. You know who else requires that? McDonald's. So either I'm
Yeah.
a J-Dub or I work at McDonald's. That makes no fucking sense. Like,
Mhm. Not that I agree with any of that, but I,
But-
do,
but-
I do remember that reason.
But now that's all out the window, basically. Like
yeah.
a little bit different. Like some people might see like your guys' level of beard and be like, okay, whatever. But like if you had like a trimmed, like on your face beard, I don't think there's a single person in the country that would be like, this guy isn't professional because he has hair. on
Someone's
his
our
face.
age.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
There was no
there
one
might
that
be
was
still
vibrant,
some
actually
people
too.
that you have the long hair, full beard thing. They might be a little,
Yeah.
But I still think that's way down.
Okay.
But nobody's saying like you have a trim beard,
those two used to have-
we're not going to listen to you.
Right.
So it's like
Sideburn.
tattoos seem to be kind of
tattoos
more
is on that same
accepted.
thing too. It's kind of coming
Yeah.
around to where it's like
Yeah.
mostly acceptable.
Well, because they have to. I
Yeah.
mean, you absolutely have to. You have to. They're not going to like.
You
pull
don't
a
grow
full-on-
with the times,
Yeah.
but they're going to grow with the times.
They're
a
not
little
pulling
bit.
on a full-on Catholic where they're just going to say like gays are now accepted by our religion, but they will make small adjustments.
Well, and also witnesses, their whole thing, their whole religion thing is growing with the times.
yeah,
That's their thing.
New
So
light.
new light is their
New
thing.
light.
So you're telling me you can't have new light about beards? You can have it about smoking and about all these other things.
yeah.
Like all these things can change because we got new light, but beards can't be new light. Right?
Well, no, beards
So
aren't new light
stupid.
because they never said you couldn't have them. That was just like your own guys' thing.
It's such BS. It's
Yeah.
so much BS. It's unreal. Ah.
Oh.
I can't think of any other questions.
I would like to hear Tyler's perspective a little bit
Oh
on
yeah.
me and my situation, observing it as and like seeing it from the perspective that you did. I mean, you were kind of
Yeah.
involved, but also a kind of arm's length at some points too. So
Yeah. It was always weird because, again, like it somewhat started out like you hanging out with the older guys in the congregation. Like that's always what it was. Because
I
again,
forgot to talk about
single,
that. Yeah.
like single mom. And so he would always end up hanging out with like the older guys in the congregation. We always took him. And I've even said before, it's never was never anything like, oh God, we got to bring Dylan along. But like we always loved having Dylan come hang out. Like he was always fun. So we.
I feel like I was mature for my age for the most
Oh,
part
yeah,
in
you're
my
pretty cool,
childhood.
dude. First time I
Like,
met you, I was like, oh, that kid's pretty fucking.
yeah, like even at like 12, 13, I was able to like have a conversation with adults and know how to not be annoying.
Yeah.
I could be annoying when I wanted to, also very much, but like I knew like I could like be chill and not be annoying.
Right.
So, but no, it was always like, you're always welcomed and everything. And it was kind of almost, I don't want to say like father figure role, but it was like most of the older guys in the congregation
like-
kind of somewhat took
yeah.
you under their wing and
It was good male authority, or good male role models.
something like,
I would
fair
say.
enough.
Yeah.
And so we did that. Authority.
Yeah. There was a couple male father figure people, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
yeah.
For sure. But, and so, but then like as you got older, kind of like you said, you're like, oh, this guy's kind of cool. So like he actually turned out to be somebody like,
Yeah, we did.
like
yeah.
cool to hang out with. And I remember the first time we were hanging out the first time we were drinking over at we were sitting
This
there.
was so funny. Gosh, I love this day. This was my favorite day. This was one of my favorite days, to be honest with you.
So we were sitting around and you would like house sat for them or something.
yeah, I did. Yeah.
And so, and then it kind of came somehow brought up that like knew that you were drinking or something. Anyway. And so,
Well, like wife would even make these like cocktail smoothie things with like Malibu, and they'd be like chocolate ice cream and then Malibu and stuff. It'd be like a shake,
yeah.
but it would have booze in it.
Yeah.
And they'd let
I
me
think we
drink
gotta try
them when
that.
I was like in high school, like before this point. So like they didn't let me have like one, So like I knew there was a little bit of not caring as much.
Yeah. And so I remember one day we were sitting around like playing games because we used to do that a couple times a week.
Literally.
Sit and play board games or card games or something. And I don't even remember how it came about, but you said something about having a drink and was like, well, I mean, we can have a few drinks. Like we can sit around here drinking and you're what?
The look on my
And, so,
face.
and literally, and it was the type of thing where like, because you were like late teens.
I was,
And you were-
16. I was 16 at this point.
Really 16?
Maybe 15, 16.
I was thinking you were older, so never mind. But at any rate, we were like, he's old enough to sit around and have
No,
a few
you're right.
drinks
I was
with us.
older. You're right. I was older,
But-
actually.
We didn't want to like steer him wrong per se. And then he's like, I wish we could sit around and have some drinks, but he didn't want to ask. It's like that was kind of like apparently the dynamic for quite a while.
Because I was 17 at least by this point,
I knew
because
you
the
were-
only reason I knew that is because I had been like partying with kids at high school for like a year at this point. So I was pretty like
well versed.
well versed, and like I wanted to drink with these guys because they're just sitting around having a couple beers, couple shots, like nothing crazy. But I just wanted to drink with these guys,
Right.
but I never wanted to bring it up because I thought like
if we got pissed or something,
Yeah.
like, you can't do that. And we were sitting here like, God, it'd be cool if he could drink because then we could drink a lot more.
and literally, so then what? I'll let you finish the story, but yeah.
We
so then
went
it led to this
through-
day.
God, we
Went through a liter of Fireball.
was it fire? Oh,
It was a
God.
whole
Yeah.
liter. Whole liter of Fireball and all
Oh.
shots. All we did was shots
Oof.
That's a little
between
better.
three of us.
Actually, it's not better.
Which is what got me last weekend. Shots of Fireball.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But I took like 10 shots,
It was a
10
bunch.
shots of Fireball when
At
I'm like
17.
17. So I'm just like, we're feeling good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That was so that was fun. And then like I said, after that, like we just kind of, and we never like got in trouble. Like we never really did anything that's like bad, right?
Other than get a little turnt.
Well, yeah,
But,
I mean,
like,
it's like
every witness does that.
Yeah.
Come on.
right. But that's what I'm saying. Like I see that more as from like the witness side being a bad thing, whereas like it's a somewhat normal thing, right? Like
It really is. It's an unspoken
Right.
thing, but it is normal.
I'm letting my kids have a couple beers with me
Yeah.
if they're 16, 17, 18.
My first
at
shot-
my house.
Yeah,
Like,
my
that's
first shot of
fine.
whiskey, my mom and dad were sitting literally on the other side of the kitchen.
I'd
And I said, "Can I have
rather
a shot of whiskey?" And my dad's like, "Yeah, if you can handle it." And then I poured a shot. I was 15, yeah, and I poured a shot and slammed it. I was like, "God, that's good." And then mom looked at dad. He's like,
Did that
Well,
with a glass of
yeah.
scotch that I had when she was 4.
don't do that
My dad
again.
tried beer.
I literally had a glass of
5.
scotch in my hand and kept like grabbing at it. I was like, no. And she kept, I was like, you don't want that. And then finally she's like, I was like, I'm like, take it. And she's like,
See, daddy drinking it.
I figured she'd be like on the floor, like crying. And she literally was just like, and handed it back and walked away. And I was like, holy shit. So, right. I'm like, God damn it. She's going to be.
I will
And
say,
coincidentally, it's her younger sister that would prefer to drink more.
But so like
I did tell you, hit me up to buy him alcohol, right?
I gotta give you credit for that, by the way, though. This guy was my plug for like 3 years.
Yeah.
So now I'm 21 and nobody can get in trouble. The statute of limitations is gone. But
Yeah.
this guy was a G. And screw 12. Anyway.
Okay, man.
Ooh, pinky up even? Look at you go. Fancy.
Do you have anything more to talk about?
Oh yeah,
More
I think so.
stories?
We were going there good. Well,
We have
now?
we have a bunch of crap that I haven't talked about really yet. It's not in a great order. I've kind of effed up the order of this. I
Yeah.
just kind of think about
You can
things
do
in
it,
a weird
it's
way,
fine.
but
It's not a big deal.
I don't think it really matters, dude. It's more fun when you just don't really concentrate hard.
Well, but we kind of got like
Everything's more
the
fun,
linear.
guys.
Like we got the
that's
story.
what I was trying to do, but
And
now
so
we're
we could-
kind of like,
we could even go back because now like most of it's just going to be more anecdotal shit. That's just
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
So,
That's kind of more of the shit I want to do. Yeah, just a
Yeah.
little more like.
which coincidentally, I will say, it was always funny that me and used to make fun of you because you would drink nothing but Jack Daniels and nothing but like Mick Light.
Jack Daniels
Hello,
and the Golden
Horny.
Light.
Can
Like, that
you
was it.
fuck me? I'm waiting for you. Olivia4fuck.me.45493.
That sounds
What?
I think we should
Wow,
have-
that's legit.
That's
Yeah,
that,
dude.
get her number.
I have it, dude.
Oh shit, yeah.
That
Oh,
shit's so
that's to
dumb.
me and 4 other people.
Did I send you the one about me protecting my virginity from hot milfs in the area?
I don't think so.
I mean, I guess you're with the MILF.
I was
like,
gonna
I
say
I
you
guess
didn't do a good
apparently it
job.
didn't work. God, where was the?
What, your virginity part? How did you have
Well,
two
that's
children?
true. I didn't.
Yeah, that's tough too. Yeah.
That's true. I guess he
I
didn't
mean, I
take
guess
my
maybe if it
virginity.
was like like you didn't have the act, but then you transferred it. Like, so then you'd still be a virgin?
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you're just swimming
It's like
in the
being-
shower,
it's the being
it doesn't
reborn
count.
thing, Virgin Reborn.
Yes, I need that, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
God damn, I love this woman.
Well, it didn't work very well.
Yeah.
Protecting yourself there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Tommy gun nights.
Yeah,
Did
we
they
got-
have Tommy guns? You need some nasal
No,
spray.
I
Or not,
don't.
it's not
Not
nasal
gonna work.
spray.
It's an inhaler.
All right.
I got nasal spray.
Oh, I don't.
I have an
want it.
inhaler too.
I'm trying to get off of it.
Trying to get off the nasal spray. Yeah.
I'm not supposed to use it every day.
So what were we talking about though?
So yeah, I mean, just
Just shenanigans
so
with older
one of the
people.
I will tell like probably my fondest story with Dylan, and we've also talked about. So 2014 Labor Day. So
This is a great story. This is
Yeah.
a great story.
it was an absolute shit time. It fucking sucked, all except for like the last 12 hours
Was this when you went?
when we went camping.
This is
Yeah.
how great that's all great stories. All great stories start
And pornos.
like crap.
Yeah.
And you hate your life. And then you somehow figure out how to like BS your way out of it, and then you have the best times ever.
Yeah.
100%. Almost all great stories I've had in my life have been like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just a me common theme, but that has been a fact for me.
Oh, that is
So-
true.
So we're going on vacation back to Colorado and Nebraska, and we're going to camp at the lake here. We leave 2 weeks from today. Wow.
Yeah.
God, that's quick. So anyway, we
Get your
went.
shit together.
Get all your shit, put it in.
Hey,
Get it together. Get your shit together.
Get your shit together.
Just get it. Just put it in a box. I don't care.
Take it to a shit
What you have
store.
to do, you just get it together, Summer. Get it together.
So anyway, we went camping. Me, you, and Brett. We drove back there. We pulled in. It was a quick weekend trip. We left Friday after work.
Why did we do that?
I
That
don't
was
know.
so dumb.
Yeah, like we were gonna leave Thursday, but couldn't go
Yeah.
because he had to work in the cities on Friday, and he was gonna get done at like 2.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, well, fine, we'll sacrifice an extra day so that can come.
Worth it.
So we left Friday after work, drive 9 hours back to
We
Nebraska,
got
where
there
I'm
like
from.
1 o'clock in the morning.
It's like 12:30,
Yeah.
1 o'clock. Yeah. And then we couldn't get into the state park because the park system computers were down. Like we went to the gas station, we're going to get our permits, which I got them ahead of time now.
Ah,
So-
of course you did.
Those are done. And you have to pay for camping now. Yeah, you have to reserve camping, like even on the beach.
Really?
Yeah, fucking crazy. So anyway, we get into town like 12:30, go to the gas station, gonna get our park permits. Dude's like, can't do it. Computer's down. I was like, shit. All right, we'll go to Pump and Pantry. So we go down the road, go to the other gas station. We load up a bunch of beer, get a bunch of other shit. Hey, we need our park stickers. He's like, oh no, like the whole system is down. Like the park system is down, not. I was like, damn it. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. We have nowhere to go. You can't go out onto the beach or you will get a ticket. Like they'll cruise by at like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. And if you don't have a sticker, they're going to ticket you. So I'm like, the best
We
we
should
can
have
do.
just drove out there anyway. I would
Yeah.
have paid the ticket.
I mean,
at
wait,
the
yeah.
time.
How much is a ticket? Of $75. Fucking.
But trespassing on like a state park, it was probably a $250 ticket.
I suppose.
Well, how many
Okay.
of there were you?
3.
Yeah, you could split that.
At the time, we didn't really think about that,
Yeah.
but that's what we should
Because
have
it's
done.
1 a.m. You've been driving for
Yep.
8 hours.
Well, what we did was we drove out to the lake and we did like, well, I guess all we can do is sleep in the truck. So we drove out at like 1
And just
o'clock in the
slept
morning.
in the truck.
Like had the back seat, so he was able to stretch out relatively comfortable. You were in the passenger seat, so you were able to lay back.
Yeah.
But I had like behind me, so I couldn't lean back too far, and then I have a steering wheel, and I'm like, so I'd like wrap my.
All of us slept like dog poop.
Yeah, I didn't know like shit.
Yeah.
I literally had like my legs wrapped up around the steering column,
Oh,
like trying to get comfortable.
yeah,
Yeah,
no
right?
kidding. I
Mm.
could be that steering
Mac,
column.
you're on the
Whoa,
table.
shit!
You're gonna spill the table.
Yeah, no
Again,
good.
careful.
So, and we suffered through that for about 3-4 hours or so until finally it was like, fuck this.
We got
let's
up
get
for breakfast at like 6 o'clock in the
Oh
morning.
yeah,
It
like
so
it was
funny.
like 5:30. I was laying there and I'd been awake for an hour and I was like,
This is pointless. This
Yeah.
is pointless.
and I'm like, fuck this. I don't care. Because you guys were starting to like snore by that point. Because you
Yeah.
guys had, like, everyone was exhausted. So
I had
finally-
rolled around for 2 hours and finally I like
Yeah.
just cashed.
Yeah.
I was so tired.
And I was like, I don't even care. I'm making noise. I don't give a shit if they're sleeping. Like, we're getting up. I'm done. It's like I get out and I'm like, start changing my clothes and shit. And you guys,
I
wake
didn't
up.
even wake up.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
I didn't wake up until we got to the
Yeah.
food and they
Yeah.
were like, get the heck up.
So we're like, all right, we're going into town. We're getting breakfast. This was shit. Let's go get breakfast. We'll get our stickers. We'll come back out. We'll set up the tent. We can relax and just hang out. So we went, did all that, stopped at the liquor store, picked up more beer. Because we didn't even really drink any the night before that much, I don't think, but we still picked up more. And, you know, as
Oh,
you
yeah,
do when you're
bear.
camping, you don't want to run out.
Yeah.
No,
So,
That's a sin.
so then
beer,
we,
first aid kit. That's what you got to take when you go
yeah, I
camping.
think we
Oh,
had one of
And
those.
food.
And what?
We got beer.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we take care of a bunch of shit, go back out to the lake late morning, set up a tent, we're hanging out that night. The like absolute just bonkers windstorm was
Just
coming
a
through.
giant storm. Like huge, gigantic storm.
Now and again, so the lake that we're on, so it's like 4.5 miles wide and like 30 miles long. Like it's a big lake.
Yeah.
So if you get a wind blowing across there, nothing to stop it.
yeah.
When it hits the other side, like it's like It's insane.
So Tyler's got. I gotta take this part of the
Yeah.
story because this is so funny. So Tyler's got this pretty decent. Like it's basically a 3-room
It's the
tent.
tent we're
Like,
gonna stay in next
like,
week.
it's a
2
Oh.
weeks.
it's a pretty
Also, it
big.
survived.
Hopefully
Yeah,
you have
well-
better luck.
So it's a
Kind
pretty
of.
big tent. So this thing is whipping, and we're just laying in the tent at that point when it starts. And eventually, by the end, he's in one corner, Brett's in one corner, and I'm in one corner, just holding the tent corners up, and the middle is just down, and like we're like the only thing keeping it from just collapsing and flying into the
And like, and it's blowing so
And
hard.
I'm
We're
like,
standing
I'm
there,
like
like
almost
we're
getting
holding.
Yeah.
You're literally like,
yeah, like there'll be points where I was like flew back, and it was just not.
and we
And
did
it's like-
that for 2 hours.
For 2 hours. And it's literally dousing rain the whole time too. It's
And
just
so,
like,
and so
it
nylon
was
tent,
awful.
you know, sheds water. But if you're making contact,
It's just running down your arm.
oh yeah, we're literally standing there just dripping,
Yeah.
fucking
down your pits,
livid.
falling down
Oh
your
my
I was
god.
so
One of your
bad.
pants.
I was so
Dude,
freaking
oh,
bad.
God.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Maybe
It
that'll be a
was-
better good luck charm.
I hope
And
so.
that won't
It was
happen.
awful.
Sounds
awful.
horrible.
yeah.
But I mean,
And so literally, so like by like 4 a.m., I was like, fuck this, guys. Grandma's house is 40 minutes away. We throw the tent in the truck and we get out of here. I don't care. She's got showers. She'll make us food. We'll have coffee. And we almost did it. And finally, we're like, fuck it. All right, we'll stay. So it died down. And then we were like, I don't even care. Like, we're just laying
We
down.
just slept.
Didn't matter. Everything was soaked, sand everywhere because it's super fine sand.
I
And so
literally
it
still
will
have
with-
sand and stuff that I brought there like
Yeah.
for like a year. Like
Yeah.
no cap.
Like not even any exaggeration. So we get done with that. We get up and it actually the corner that we weren't able to hold did snap the pole. So we
Yeah, I
had
could
to,
replace.
so it's
it
good you
got
were
fixed.
holding off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Otherwise, yes, all
Good job.
4 would have come in, and that would have been a problem. And so we get everything out of there. We clean all the sand, all the mud and water and shit out of there. And we ended up having to like tie off the tent to the truck.
Yeah,
and
we
the other
tied the
side we had
tent
to
to
tie
the
it off to the
truck.
firewood so that we could have some. And so that's Saturday night. So Friday night we slept in the truck. Saturday night we didn't fucking sleep because we were in a like storm holding the tent. So we do all this and we get and then it's raining Sunday.
But we had Monday off.
No, we went home Sunday.
No, we didn't.
Oh wait, yes, we had
We went home Monday night because Monday was
Monday
Monday
we
was Labor
stayed
Day.
Saturday night or Sunday night, and then we went home Monday,
Yeah.
and we got home super late Monday to go to work Tuesday.
Yeah.
So so anyway, so Sunday it's like then it's raining.
That night was fun though.
Right. So then that night, but we ended up spending like the rest of that afternoon sitting in our tent
Yeah, just chilling.
playing games because it was raining outside. And we're like, all right. And then by mid-afternoon, it cleared
It
up.
got
And it was like,
sunny
okay.
and it got nice.
Yeah. So it was like, all right, whatever. And so we cooked a little bit of food on the beach. That was nice.
That was dope.
And then went for a walk to drop one off up in the hills on the, up in the grassy area.
Take a shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we go to take a shit.
Yeah.
Do that. And then we were talking to my mom. I don't remember why we were on the phone with my mom, but by then it was later afternoon. It was starting to get dark. And so then we start heading back to our camp and we're like, dude, this sucks. Everything is wet. We can't use our firewood because it's literally anchoring our tent. So like, this is going to be dumb. It's like,
It wasn't dark
8:30
yet though.
it was getting dark.
It wasn't dark because once that happened, we played frisbee and stuff when it was still light for a long
We
time.
played frisbee in the pitch dark.
No, we did not.
Yes, we did because they
Not
had
at
the
the beginning.
glowy frisbee.
No. All right, doesn't matter. Either way.
Yeah, all right. So anyway,
Tyler's probably right.
we start walking
I
back.
remember glowy frisbee. I'm just saying.
I had by far the least amount to drink.
That is factual statements.
like
So,
by a long shot.
yeah.
So
We're both pretty tuned.
yeah, that
Pretty
was
tuned by that point.
that was nice. So
You'll get to the part of the story in a minute.
So we're walking back, and there's this huge group of people on the beach around a fire, probably 20 of them, and just sitting around playing guitar, talking, singing, just bullshit, and having a good time. It's like cool. And everyone is super friendly at the lake. Like when you're walking down the beach, like you talk to people and you say hi and stuff. Like it's
Classic camping.
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh yeah.
so like, we stopped and we bullshitted with them for a little bit, and they even passed the bottle around. Like we had a couple of holes while we were there, and then we're like, all right, we're gonna go back to our camp and everything. And you guys take care. Like, yeah, whatever. Have a good night. So we start walking back, and then we start thinking like, man, we ain't got shit to do at our camp and the firewood situation, all this, and we're like, hey, you guys got room for like 3 more around? They're like, yeah. We're like, all right, cool. Like we're gonna grab chairs. We got beer. We got a couple bottles of Jack Daniels. Like we'll be back in a minute. So we grab our shit. We come back, and then we just start partying with those.
Yeah,
and we just
So it ended on a good.
yeah. So like we start. We're drinking. We're laughing. We kept
You're
trying-
leaving out the punchline of the story.
The-
the punchline.
Oh yeah, like
Oh, yeah.
it was wrecked.
Yeah.
Like I don't know that I've ever seen that drunk.
No, definitely not me.
That
ever.
was insane. And so he kept asking a lot of questions of the we'll just say he was propositioning people like
He propositioned this nice lady next to her very nice, unbelievably giant boyfriend.
Yeah, you gotta be
like,
good on
like,
that.
like
literally,
boyfriend,
like you're
lady.
this is the big boyfriend and that's the girl. Hey, are we sucking dick?
Yeah, literally.
Hey, what's going on over here? Are we sucking dicks over here? Yeah, that's how that was going.
Jesus.
Yeah, this man was tuned up. That's all we gotta say. The boyfriend was super chill, so he knew.
Oh, he was
like,
just
he was just
it was
laughing.
hilarious.
But like, given a different person, that could have been
Right.
not
Right.
ideal situation.
And yeah, he's not like this dude was big.
This
This
dude
guy
was
was jacked. He would have like
killed Brett.
yeah, he would have
Yeah, he would have wrecked all 3 of us.
Right.
We would all jumped in. He would have wrecked all 3 of us.
yeah.
Yeah, it was over. Yeah.
We'd have had to.
We would have had to, and then
that would have hurt. So anyway, so that's what was going. And finally we're like, we need to put him to bed. So,
So
we're like,
we literally.
hey, Brett, we should probably call it a night, right? Yeah, I suppose. Like, guys, we'll be back. And so like we took him back to the tent and we like
We
got
pretended
him-
like we were going to bed. I'm like, I just gotta go brush my teeth and I'll be back, and then just dip.
put like a bucket by his head and like left
Laid
the
him on
door
his side,
unzipped,
laid the door unzipped.
You're
Yeah.
such good friends.
We just had
But for real, like that's
just-
so nice.
We just put him to
My guys would
bed.
just be like, just go, dude, get the fuck out of here. Go back to tent.
yeah, fuck off.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Right. And he would have too. Like,
Yeah,
So we did. So we went and put him to bed, and then we went back and we partied for a few
Hours.
hours. I don't
we
know.
were driving 4-wheelers around late at night.
We got in that dude had that.
Yeah, what was that? That
So
was
he had a
nuts.
super nice F-150 Raptor,
Yeah, that's what it was.
and
yeah.
he had it
Like jacked up,
Oh,
tuned
yeah.
up, super
lifted
Isn't that the
on
way
it.
they came?
like locking
Yeah.
rear differentials.
Well, like even
full
more
on,
than
like,
yeah.
Jesus.
and like the lighting and everything. Like it was nice. Like
It was
But
it was $150,000 truck,
probably.
somewhere in there.
And I mean,
Yeah, it was
and
pretty-
we're
it's
sitting there,
pretty
we're in
decent.
there on the beach.
This guy's just ripping it around.
80. I
Yeah,
don't know.
like
Oh,
I don't know because
On the
I was
beach.
hammered in the back
Like-
seat, but this guy's ripping and stipping.
But he
And it
literally
was
but he
like-
had this thing to the point where like that's what it was built for.
Yeah,
So like we're doing 80 across this beach, but it's like
You
it's
don't
like
even
dune
feel it.
buggy almost. Like
Yeah,
it's like,
it was
holy
weird.
shit. Like it was sweet.
Good.
Anyway, so there was that. And we played frisbee in the dark, and we played Pinchy Winchy.
that was so funny.
That's a fun game. We'll have to play that sometime. We'll explain the rules
Yeah,
when we play.
we can't tell you because that would give away the whole game.
Oh, all right. I got you. But oh, by the way, I just lost the game.
Oh, so did I. Shoot!
You
Dang
played
it!
that?
Why'd you do that to me? Gosh. These guys are like, what the heck are you talking
Yeah.
No,
about?
he knows.
You lost the game
I
too
don't know if
already.
you know about that game, but
Nope.
it was
I
a
lost
game we
the game
played.
again.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I'm gonna lose it.
Yeah,
I'm
now
gonna
we're
lose it
done.
consistently for
Yep.
the next few minutes.
Yep.
And we have to explain it to Amanda real quick. Okay, this was a game in high school where if you think about the game, you've lost the game. So you can go years without losing the game. But as soon as you remember about the game,
You lost.
you fucking lost the game.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one that's stuck, and it's
Yeah.
actually fun because
Yeah,
then I get to
literally.
text all my friends.
You
Hey,
lost the
I
game.
lost the game.
All right,
And they get mean text back.
asshole.
I just lost too.
Okie dokie.
So
So,
now-
it's like the fingers.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep. We got to get back on track.
Yeah,
here.
So
we do.
yeah,
Holy
so
cow.
that was fun though. But anyway,
It's
so, yeah,
sidetracked.
so that night, and yeah, in the end, we all three agreed like that night made the whole trip worth it.
Yeah,
Like that was one of like the most quality, just like good, fun party nights that I've ever had, and not even just like oh, because we were partying hard. Like it was like that was just
fun.
It was just a good night with legitimately like good, fun, cool people,
No drama.
Worldly.
cool, worldly people.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, that trip was also the first time that I'd smoked weed since high
Yeah, it
school.
was, huh?
So
Probably not for you. Well, I guess
I
yeah,
didn't.
maybe
I didn't on that trip.
not on that trip.
I
At that
had
point you had like
I-
once or twice. Like it
no. What? When did I go on that trip?
was Labor Day.
Well, like how old was I?
It was the year before like we started smoking.
Oh, then
You had like once
Yeah,
that
maybe
summer or
once,
something with,
yeah.
like, Wyatt. But
yeah, literally once. Yeah. So like I was pretty like.
because I remember we ended up.
I
camping
said
with
no,
these two couples.
yeah.
You were like no. They offered, and I was
Yeah.
like I haven't in years. I'm like, and he never has. He has once or twice. And it's like no, or whatever.
Yeah. You don't
And
and then
then-
crossfaded.
Yeah, so they were like-
puking, spitting.
Well, I barely started drinking at that point that evening. That was earlier. That was on like
That was
Saturday night.
That was like in the afternoonish.
So, so this. Okay, this brings up another question. When's the first time you smoked weed?
First time I smoked weed was actually a really magical, cool situation.
Yeah.
Because it was me and my best friends, and we had talked about doing it for so long.
Were they witness friends?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
And so we bought this weed from this high school kid we knew, and we go out to this fort that we built at middle school. So we spent 3 years building this fort, like straight like sticks and wood, and it was like probably like as big as this room ish. Like I mean, if you cut it off like where Pan is sitting to right here, it was probably about that big.
Wow.
So it was pretty dope.
Yeah.
And then we built like a whole, we built a trap door that opened, and then a ladder up a ladder. It was like nails in the tree up, and then it had a whole tree fort on top of it. So it literally took us like 3 years to build this thing. Super dope. Like one of my favorite childhood memories. And that's where we smoked. We went out to this, and we literally smoked out of a pop can, which is disgusting now, but at the
Yeah,
time,
that.
that's
I
all we
smoked
did.
White Rhino out of a beer can one time.
Yeah. So we literally just took a pop can, smoked it. Like it was nuts. We were in this fort, super cool. That was like summer after my senior year of high school.
Oh.
And that was the first time that I ever had. Yeah. And then I didn't really get into it until later.
First summer.
next May.
Yeah.
So you're like 19, 18, 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. And even then it was like not off.
Which is surprising considering you went to all the high school parties.
yeah.
Did you always just reject it?
It
Or
just
did it
wasn't
not
a
come up?
thing in Blue Earth, Minnesota.
Oh, really?
It was kind of there was a few kids that did, but like we made
Everyone
most kids made fun of the kids that did. Like it was like not a thing that was like a thing until and when I was in college, I knew kids back in high school, and then it was a thing for everybody. But
Yeah.
when I was there, it wasn't yet.
I
So
see.
it was literally just drinking at that point.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
and meth.
Well, not for me, but some people,
It was
yes.
either drinking or meth.
I think that was pretty much anywhere
That's
you went growing up.
Fair.
Yeah.
After his mate. Yeah.
So that was that's been fun though. I like that, but I also actually do like that I didn't do it in high school because it kind of like feel like it can stunt your emotional maturity when you're young.
If you
know,
start
I feel like
too
there
young,
is something
yeah.
to that. So
Well,
that
you
was-
really shouldn't just abuse anything. when you're
no,
too young,
definitely not.
You know.
But yeah. So yeah, that was that.
Interesting.
Yeah. Me and Tyler had a fun couple of years though. There for a while of when I was in
Yep.
college where we just didn't care. Really.
Yeah.
And so you just come over and we either smoke or get drunk, one of the two, and then just drive around and do stupid, just do whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd usually sit around and we'd get stoned, and then we'd drive to Quick Trip and get
And
Ben and
take
Jerry's.
100 years in Quick Trip.
Yeah.
Which kind of leads into all the times we didn't get disfellowshipped because you were not currently disfellowshipped, right?
I am not currently disfellowshipped. I am marked. Which is a weird thing that I literally had never heard of until it happened to me.
Really?
No, I never heard of it. I literally was like, what?
Yeah.
What is this? And so, yeah, I guess I did sit through my own marking talk. That was kind of interesting.
How was that?
Awkward. I
Yeah.
mean, like, I knew, like, I don't know.
Was there like a clear? Because I mean, I wasn't marked, but because I was disfellowshipped, I didn't go. But I sat through marking talks while the people have been there, and I've always wanted to ask them, like, were people different to you after? I mean, I guess I've been reproved.
The people
But-
that knew, yes. But that was the thing with the marking talk, is because it wasn't a judicial committee offense, what I had done, but there were people in the congregation that knew about it. And so we have to discipline you somehow because people know, basically.
Right.
Because how I got found out, which is so funny, was literally on Venmo. Because I literally Venmo'd Mariah for something. And I apparently was just public, and I had witness friends on Venmo, I guess. And somebody saw me on Venmo and told the elders. And that's how the whole situation started, was from Venmo.
Really?
And I
That's
remember your mom
ridiculous.
so Mariah tweet, huh?
Yeah,
Like,
that's how my mom brought the news to me. Like, that she knew. I'm just walking in, and she's like, so Mariah tweet, huh? And I'm like, what? Like, literally the most, like, nonchalant, off the heel, like, what are you talking about?
At least she didn't like guilt trip you into telling her or something like that.
Oh,
you
she
know?
did that all the time. That's like her
Oh.
number one thing that she did. Is she'd know something and then she'd try to get me to lie to her about it. But after like 2 or 3 times, I kind of got the
Figured it out.
pattern, and then I would just tell her because I knew she knew.
Already knew.
Yeah.
See, that's one of the reasons that I said I was a little more honest, because it's like I always just assumed they already knew and they were
Yeah.
trying to trick me into something.
Yeah.
Because I've been there before.
Yep.
It's like, well, what happened here? And you're like, oh, well.
I don't
Oh,
know.
really? Because-
Oh, you don't know, huh?
Oh,
These
all right.
pictures.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You were dishonest with me. I'm dishonest with you.
Oh, I mean, she found pictures of me at a party in high school, and I told her someone sent them to me. And I wasn't in the pictures.
She
but I
found pictures of a
clearly took the
naked girl
pictures.
on your phone that girl had sent to you.
Yeah.
And you were like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just sent it.
Yeah. Literally.
I don't know where those pictures came
Where
from.
the chicks be hoes, mom.
Sorry.
Do you see she's trying to get me to fornicate with you?
But yeah, so that was pretty funny.
So do you think you'll ever like write a disassociation letter? Are you gonna play by the rules at all, or
No. I mean,
fuck it?
yeah, I mean, if like I'm gonna live my life. Like
Yeah.
if they want to like look at this and see me on it and Dallas fellowship me, that's cool. But
Oh, so like would you actually, if they were like, hey, we saw this, you got to come in for judicial, would you actually do it?
No, I wouldn't go. But they would just fellowship me because I didn't show up.
You just
So
tell
if you
them,
don't show
go ahead
up-
and do it without me.
Yeah. And then they just do it.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
like I would not give them the satisfaction of showing up and telling them. Like I don't care that much. I'm
Right.
done. I'm so done. That, you know.
Oh, you and so many others. dude. It's
Yeah.
awesome. It's freaking awesome.
Well, slowly but surely.
Yeah. And I guess that's a big part of what I think is cool that you guys have done, and what I wanted to do this was because of helping people. Like, you know, I actually have to admit I had it pretty darn easy. I kind of played it pretty well as far as keeping my family and talking to them, and like at least initially. So I had it pretty easy as far as that situation goes, but a lot of people don't. And so I just wanted to be a part of the resource thing for helping people come out, because I feel like that's
Hell yeah.
a huge important situation. So
Right? The more that
Yeah.
gets out there, the better.
yeah, and just it sucks if you're not especially the alone feeling, right? That's the one thing I never had because I had a ton of friends from college and high school that weren't witnesses. So for me, that wasn't bad
Right.
because I kind of felt alone, like personally, but I had a lot of like stuff to do, people to do, and like, you know, all that type of situation. So
You got a lot of distraction from it.
yeah. So it wasn't as bad, but
And
there's a lot of
considering it was
people-
mainly just your mom and your aunt that were in, like you
Literally,
still
yeah.
have your dad.
I still have my whole
your
dad's side of my
uncle,
family that
yeah.
are witnesses, and I like go to their Christmases
A lot
and
of
that type of
support.
crap. So
Right. Yes.
even though that's a weird relationship, that's one thing that I haven't talked about that I will get a little personal with for a minute. Is it's so hard when my mom was the one who was the parent and who actually did the work and was in the trenches and did anything. My dad would like show up on like holidays, like take me for weeks in the summer on holidays, and like that was it though. He was never a dad. He was more like my friend than he was my dad.
Yeah.
So that's been one of the hardest things coming out of this is knowing all the grind that my mother put in and all the crap she like. I couldn't be more grateful. Like literally the most grateful I could possibly be. But I can't have a relationship with her, and my relationship with my dad will never be because he wasn't my dad really.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I'm not taking a shot at him for that either. Like he was figuring his stuff out. There was weirdness with witnesses and me at that time wanting to be one, and like there was such a bunch of weirdness going on. So
I don't think he would disagree with that at all.
No,
Your dad would be like,
yeah. So I'm not taking a shot at him or anything. It's just how I see it, the facts as I see it. So that's what's really hard is I want that relationship with my mom because my mom was like my best friend. Like my mom was dope. And even as a witness, she was dope. Like there was a lot of stuff she didn't care about that witness parents normally cared about, like music or like she literally bought us like third row tickets to a Pearl Jam concert.
What?
Like Pearl Jam's my mom's favorite band. Like literally.
and you
And I
almost tried to
didn't
bail. You were like, I don't know. If
Yeah.
I'm like, the fuck is wrong with you? I'll go.
Yeah. So like, and she let me go to Alice in Chains when I was like
No
15
way.
and like, yeah. So she was super cool about like a lot of that borderline stuff.
Yeah.
So like, I gotta give her a shout out on that. I just wish it could be completely out of it situation because my mom's a boss.
Yeah.
It's just cult stuff.
It's called stuff.
And yeah, and that took me a long time to even call it a cult too.
That's true.
Yeah.
It really did.
It's
But it's a
still-
cult.
Yeah.
It's a cult. Anybody thinks it's not is wrong. It's a cult.
I can't if I am talking to like my parents for some reason,
Yeah.
I still can't call it a cult. I even in that post that I made the other day, I still couldn't call it a cult, dude. I had to call it a highly controlled organization, religious organization. Because I know it's a cult, but geez, even just
It's
writing
so
it
hard,
down,
isn't
you're
it?
Like,
And it's almost admitting that you were dumb enough to be like,
I think
fooled
that's
by a
part of what
cult.
it
That's
is.
part of it for me, for sure. Is like, I had so many people. I had this one teacher actually who knew I was a witness, and I talked to in high school that she said to me, "You know this is a cult, right?" And I was like, "It's not a cult. What are you talking about?" Blah, 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 at the time, but
we've had parts on this.
Yeah, I always love how like it's not a cult because of this paragraph in the reasoning book that
Yeah.
they wrote saying that it's
yeah,
not a cult.
literally. And I literally,
Like, that's literally
that
how
was
we
one of the
define-
first times I ever really heard anti-witness stuff that much. Though. It's literally, she like
Oh.
shout out to Miss Chrisman, you're a G. It is a cult. You're right. Thank you. And but yeah, and it was just like now it's just funny those moments you kind of look back on it. You're like, wow, I was literally brainwashed. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like that's so tough, but
It's a hard thing to accept. Yeah,
it is.
It really is. But I mean, like at the same time, it wasn't really your fault or your mom's fault at that. I mean, like
My mom was just
You
in a
don't have
super
to be-
vulnerable situation, and they preyed on
Exactly.
that for sure.
Exactly.
100%. She had personal struggles and stuff at that point when witnesses came to her door. Super fragile type of situation. and
perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
Yep.
But that's what cults are.
Yep.
That's what cults do.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
Jeez. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to go from that, dude.
I know, yeah. It's one thing I have to talk about that's a little different from you guys also is I'm still a religious person, I would say. So I'm not
You coach at a religious
I
school.
do. I coach at a Christian
Okay,
school.
I thought so. Yeah.
I still go to church with Mariah a lot. Mariah grew up in a super healthy Lutheran family. Super religious, but super healthy. Like, it's like we go to church to make ourselves better people. We take what we can. We take out what we don't want. It's like, I don't know. It's like they're super religious, but they're about the best people you could ever meet. And there are people in their family who aren't religious and who are atheists, and they hang out with them just the same as they would anybody else.
Sure.
So
it's more of like a support, like a structure type thing.
But they do believe it still, like super hardcore. And so like it just made me realize that it can be healthy, and there are levels of it that can be good. And I do have to admit, me personally, I do have some spiritual, I hate saying this way, but I only know how to say this. It makes me throw up saying it, but like a spiritual need. I do have some type of
I haven't heard that.
yeah, right.
But yeah,
I do have some type of spiritual part to me that I need like fulfillment from.
Yeah.
And going to church and like listening to stuff like that helps me on that level. So
yeah.
And nothing against anybody that doesn't believe that I have nothing against anybody's beliefs. I just wanted to put that out there that it doesn't necessarily,
I know what you're talking about though, because like I think I've said it vocally before to like Pan and stuff that the one thing I do miss from being a witness was just that whole that connection to your spirituality that you had. Like, I don't know what it is or how to really define it, but it's just a different mindset.
Yeah.
Whether or not you believe in the Christian deity or the Buddhist,
yeah,
or whatever
exactly.
it is, you get that kind of a spirituality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't know what it is.
Well, even in like the schooling that I'm going through, like this past quarter, we did all of the different theories and their interventions of like different counseling techniques. And so whether it's like existential theory or person-centered therapy or Adlerian, but a lot of the different ones, they have a spiritual element to them, especially existential counseling. And so that's viewed as one of the things in that I guess, discipline of counseling as actually being, like you said, a need that a person fills that somehow. And it can be religion, it can be God, it can be...
I fill it with black metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No kidding.
A lot of
Norwegian
people,
black.
Right? A lot of people fill it with nature, with camping, with that type of feeling. That's the same type of feeling.
Yeah.
So, but I just wanted to give a little bit of the perspective that you can still be religious or be a Christian and not be a horrible person also. And I'm not saying you guys said that either, but I just wanted to give a little bit of that perspective too, as far as if you don't let it control your life and control your relationships with people, it can still be healthy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we even talked about prayer maybe in the last one where I was I fully get the power of prayer to where it helps lower your stress, helps you think better. So it helps you work more towards what you want.
Yeah.
And it does actually have good physical benefits to you because it lowers your stress and you're able to function better.
It's very meditation-like.
And knowing that other people are praying for you, that's a calming factor. So there definitely is.
They care.
And and even like you said, vocalizing it is a almost not trance-like, but it is almost a meditative state where it has proven psychological benefits.
And a lot of it is to the non-hypocrisy that I've seen from a couple of situations. So I go to this church service, right? This guy's talking about this scripture in James. I can't remember it specifically, but I was like, man, that really doesn't make sense. Wow. Okay. And so I go up to the pastor after, and I'm like, hey, this doesn't make any sense. Can you explain this to me? And he's like, well, there's basically 3 theories on it. This, and this. And he's like, I picked this one because I think this one was right to me. He goes, but there's 2 other theories and there's way more that other people think. And who's to say I'm right? I'm just telling you how I personally perceive it, but I'm not saying that any of us are right. I'm just giving my perspective. Here's some stuff on the other perspectives. It's think what you want. It's a totally personal thing. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah. And that's how I like it.
I was like, whoa, we can have a religious leader that can be like logical and like reasonable and like understanding and like
I can have my own opinion.
yeah, like whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And so that was another cool
Are
like
you sure this is religion?
yeah, are you sure? Like
This doesn't feel like religion.
yeah, but
it is.
But it is.
Yeah.
And so like Mariah, she's got that huge healthy view of religion. So for her, it's a comforting, like family, like, and she believes it wholeheartedly, but it's like it's healthy. There's no like ulterior bad effects to her. So
yeah.
And part of me being on with that has been her family and their treatment of me. They treat me like I'm literally their kid. Like they're like the nicest. Like they take me on all their family vacation type stuff. Like they're super awesome. Shout out to the tweets, you're awesome. And so they took me in as kind of their kid too. So I like that. I got to give them credit on again showing me that worldly people are better than witnesses most of the time. like it's not dependent on something. It's not conditional.
Right.
My goodness. Like
And it's funny
Actual
because we always
unconditional
talk
love.
about like unconditional.
Yes.
And it's like, wait, no.
no. This is
Ours is
conditional
the
love.
definition of
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
conditional.
talk about it, but when you see it, you don't even recognize it
Yeah,
until
literally.
like a year or two in. The same fucking thing happened with her family. Like, it's like, wait a second, you want to take me to Florida?
Yeah, right?
Why? what
What's
am I
the
like-
catch?
Like, what do I have to do?
Yeah. But yeah, it's true unconditional love. They don't care if you're like, yeah, I don't know.
Because you don't have
They
an
don't care
agenda.
what your thoughts are or whatever. They're like, just come with us. Okay.
Well, it's like we
Yes.
talked about before, like with Mitch when you were a kid and you're like, you want to come to the meeting with us? And his parents were like, okay, no big deal. Your parents let you do it because they were like, yeah, maybe we can recruit this one. But they don't have that agenda.
Yeah.
But if the opposite thing was to happen, your parents would be like, "Oh
Oh,
no,
God,
no
no.
way!"
Oh, they want to take you to the Lutheran church? No,
yeah.
that's never gonna
Which, okay, I gotta throw this out there because this is one of my biggest pet peeves. If your religion is right, your faith should not be that weak that you cannot discuss it and hang out with other people and talk about it.
Yep.
preach because
Oh my goodness!
you might stumble your brother.
Like,
if
well,
really
if
me
we're
and John
right,
Beard
it should-
stumble
like-
them to go out of the truth, then what the fuck? That's their problem. Not my problem.
I have to control myself so much as to not stumble another single person.
Because they
like,
can't
what?
fucking handle
Like,
themselves.
holy cow!
And again, like you said, if this is what is standing between someone else and their
Oh
eternal life,
God, the drove me
then
That's
nuts.
their
faith was
issue,
too
not
weak to
mine.
begin with.
Literally.
For audio, you touched your beard.
Yes.
Yes.
I couldn't stand it. It drove me insane.
Since there won't
man.
be cat. Thank you.
Speaking of Mitch,
But that's another thing too that Mariah always brought up to me that drove her nuts is how outward a religion is. It's not about like a relationship with God. It's literally about what you're showing to other people. And she's like, that's the number one thing that I knew it was BS right away. She's like, you guys care more about telling on each other and like being outwardly perfect than actually studying and caring and doing any of the stuff that matters.
that's a good take. I
Right?
never heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's I got to shout out to her
It's
on
all
that
more
take,
about
but
policy.
it's
and
literally about like we're a company or something. It's more
Mhm.
about policy than it is about actually what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting concept.
Yeah.
and to the point
Crazy.
where, like, again, that's not even what the Bible says. But
Yeah.
we still have it programmed into our minds that, oh, we're following the Bible.
Literally.
I got a text from my kid last week that said, well, you knew the consequences when you chose to stop serving Jehovah, that this could happen. And I'm like, actually, no. The Bible specifically says that I should still be able to be your dad. That we should still be able to live in peace. Like, I don't know what you're being told, but it's not from the Bible. So
And And we're looking strictly from that perspective, Jesus would not have shunned anyone. Like if we're going on that route, like the dude literally like talked and did stuff with the Samaritan person that literally could have, like, people would have ripped him a new one for. But it's like, I don't care. Like that type of stuff. Like that's literally the opposite of how witnesses think.
He literally had religious leaders like, you shouldn't be hanging out with hookers and tax collectors.
And he's like, guess what?
I'm going to hang out with hookers and tax
Yeah.
collectors.
Figure it out.
Like that's tough. Sorry, but I'm gonna do whatever I want. Like,
Wait, you guys are selling shit inside the church?
yeah,
Get out of here! What are you doing?
so like, but
Jesus was an anarchist.
He
But-
was.
but the coordinator can sell lawnmowers to the hall for $500.
Maybe he's writing the talks for the governing body now. Maybe that's what
I
happened.
wouldn't doubt it.
He's salesman his way right up to the top.
What an idiot.
That guy. Yeah.
So, I mean, how long have we been recording?
A long time.
Hour and 48 minutes.
Yeah.
It's took you to wrap
On the
up.
tail
for
end.
you,
So,
yeah.
where are you at now?
Super happy. I mean, like, that's the number one thing too, is that there's gonna be years of coming out where it's tough, where it sucks, and where, like, especially if you don't have a group on the outside, there's gonna be times like that, but it gets better. That's the one thing I want to, like, really get out to people, is that if you're living your life and doing who you are and have goals and like trying to be the best you, it gets better. Like, it gets better. You find people that care. You find genuine people, and it gets better. I just, you know, I got into coaching, which that's been amazing. Oof, I love it. I get to impact people's lives. I feel like I get to make, you know, shape youth in a way that's awesome. I get to help people grow as I coach volleyball, so I coach a girls sport, which is super cool. And I just get to help, like, young girls just be better people and get to know who they are. And, like, there's just so many aspects of sports that are really cool. And so that, and it also honestly helps me. I get to get my competitive side out and on the sideline yelling at people. And it's awesome. I love it. There's a big selfish side too, but I also get to help people, which I think is cool. And I'm in my master's program. I'm working towards that. I'm actually starting my own a sports podcast with one of my best friends. So we're getting that
Plug
up and
it.
going. We haven't had a name yet, so I can't give you a complete plug, but we'll do some cross sponsorship stuff. I'll plug these guys for sure. So
Hell yeah.
and I'm just so happy. I mean, my girlfriend's awesome. We have a great situation going there. I just get to do fun stuff. I don't have to go to service every second, sleep in on Saturday morning. That's pretty dope. A lot of great friends. I do miss people, and that I don't think will ever go away. And I want to give a shout out to anyone that's still that's watching this. I'm not mad at you. I have no ill will towards anybody except people that were actually jerks. So, like, I have some ill will against you. But, like, for the most part, everybody else, I have no ill will. And I just hope if you're waking up that you give me a shout. So I'll do what I can.
And even at the ones that have like treated people shitty. Like, even at that, like, you still
they're
come to
indoctrinated.
Right. You understand the mindset and you're like, God damn it. I get it.
And I did stupid stuff.
Yeah,
I
for sure.
thought worldly people were disgusting. And I thought disfellowship people was like, type of stuff. So I can't judge anybody for anything they did. But if you're coming out, even if you think I have a problem with you, I don't, and contact me. Basically, is all I'm trying to say.
Because at this point, you need each other.
Yeah, for
Differences
sure.
aside,
Especially at
none of
that
those
time.
differences you had actually really mattered because
No.
none of you had a real grasp on what the world really was. So it's pretty much like getting to know somebody again.
Exactly.
It's kind of cool. Like, people have reached out, that I haven't heard from in years. And I just figured, well, these are the memories I had. We didn't really get along. But then you start talking again, and you're like, oh, we're totally different people now.
Yeah, like, we're not the same at all.
I'm completely changed. Like,
Exactly.
and a lot of times so have they,
Yeah.
But Yeah, it's weird. It's a
Weird,
crazy
but
life to
cool.
live, man.
And life is, that's another thing, is life is, the downs in life make the ups.
Right.
I'm a firm believer in that one too.
If it was
you
all
know.
ups, you just get used to it.
Literally, if it's all ups, it'd be boring.
Yeah.
So down in life make the ups, and so yeah, that's it. That's basically it. Yeah.
Now you're here.
Now we're here.
Yep.
Cheers.
That's it. All
Let's
right.
get it.
One more in the books.
Finding
Yeah.
Paradise number 5. Boy.
Or 8.
All right. That's it.
Come back for season 2.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Oh, I'm pissing. Yeah, dude.
I hope you got that.